Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to Wednesday's recap. This is going to be a quick fire because I got to get out of here. Basically, market, was pretty flat to up a little bit all day, back and forth, a lot of stock-specific action. You take a look at the chart of the SPX, and we're still digesting higher. We've talked about the range of the S&P. We talked about, when to tactically get in some core trades. Talked about this digestion, the reclaiming of the 100-day, the move that once we reclaim the 50-day all the way up. And now here we are flagging right in front of historic highs. Some people say we're running out of gas. Some people say we're just letting the 8 and the 21-day catch up. Ultimately, though, it seems like a lot better to be long stocks than short. Okay, yes, every stock hasn't been created equal, but there's been a lot of things to own and stay with, especially with the leaders. Going through the board, I'm just going to go with Tesla first. Tesla came in today not knowing what to really expect. All we knew is that you had a pivot low here, okay, 107.30. It briefly went through it, went as low as 104.50, came back above it. If you would have just done this strategy, which I didn't do, I traded it for, a nice amount of points, and then it was in and out most of the day. You bought here, put a stop there, and boom, 13 points, okay? You had the luxury of playing this and not being all worried about it if you saw this exhaustion gap and you saw this accelerated trend line or this ascending channel get broken to the downside, and then today you came in probably excited. First stop, it could have paused out. It was a 21-day, it didn't, and then up here now at the 8-day, so now we'll see what happens. I'm happy it bounced back. I like the volatility in the stock. It's a great trading vehicle. Real quickly, you look at the 13-minute, you can see that there was actually another trade along the way too. Okay, here was the what's it called? I posted this chart, so I'm not going to get too far into it, but all in all, big move off the the lows in the morning. And then what did it do? It consolidated higher. It consolidated for a few hours. Didn't pull back whatsoever, went sideways, gave you another trade above 17.5, 18.5, all the way to 21 for additional cash flow. You can't really ask for better action than that. Quick, sharp move if you're prepared at that 107 and change, okay, and then, a nice little, if you would have sold it here, you could even got flat. I was flat Tesla most of the day. I came back around 130. I'm like, ooh, look at this nice flag. Let me play it for a new high trade. Got long in here, sold it into there, and that's that. Anyway, Yahoo, 27.5, we talked about as a pivot. I did not touch it all day, but a lot of people were thinking short that it wasn't enough. Can't think about these things, guys. You have to watch the price action. Boom. Squeezed the heck out of everyone who went short or paid investors who have been staying the course. Okay, we had this in the 2013 thesis. Let's go to the weekly chart. It's easier to see. It's above all of my targets. But anyway, here we are. If you're an investor in Yahoo, congratulations. Okay, it's still on a weekly chart, never violated the 21-day moving average. So for macro investors, if you just fell asleep and held it and said, I'm going to give it to the 50-day, you haven't had to worry about it this entire time. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to, quickly go to Apple, which is still a snoozer, still hovering. This is the weekly chart. It's trying to build. It still has, this downtrend right here. Really, it's got to get above that to get more interesting. As far as some of the banks, go to the XLF real quick. We'll go to the daily here. Still flagging. Still looks pretty good. Okay, above the 8-day, digesting. Higher here. Bank of America gave you a nice trade. Tried to sell it pre-market, didn't work. Hit as high as 14.50. Really nice run. I would not recommend going balls to the you-know-what, into these new highs. You had a nice trade here. We've had so many nice trades to add to whatever you wanted to add for this ascent. You've had, dips to buy along the way, and ultimately, if you're still in it, it's still in the drawer. Congratulations, equities work. JP Morgan, on an active level, I'm trying to hold some. It's still not ready to go, but I don't know if this market's ready to make new highs. If it does, this should be one bank that could break out. Here's your wedge. See if it breaks to the upside, downside. I'm long small. TBT, not the easiest thing to maneuver. I did buy some when it was, I believe, like around 73.50. Okay, and a little green bar. I'm not expecting something like this, like we saw the last time we bought it at 21-day, but it did hold. It's holding this trend. I'm long small. Okay, I never got stopped out there. Silver, I was long overnight. I got stopped out. I had it in this little range, thinking maybe it gets another trade. all of a sudden, Big Ben started speaking. Gold sold off first. You had a few seconds to navigate, and I sold, I think, 1920s once it broke below the prior day low. Tweeted about it once I said it. That's what I do. I get out if something changes. This was a little wedge type pattern. Could have went to the upside, went to the downside, did not stick around. Was a nice long here. Was in the game for something higher. It didn't happen. Move on. As far as Amazon, earnings are coming out soon. Still best in breed, still trending higher. If you're in there, congratulations. Showed a lot of relative strength before breaking out right here and right there. It's continuing. Netflix also continuing. Really nice move from Sperling's, play of the week to buy down here around 227 and then 235. Continues higher. LinkedIn still looks good. Still going higher. Nice little, actually, this has a nice little setup. Earnings aren't until August, so maybe we get another nice trade through 200 this time before earnings. So here's your nice little flag type pattern. There you go. Breaks above here. We could probably get another nice trade through new highs. Facebook as a laggard, still rewarding guys for staying involved. I was in here. It sold some, got back involved. Now I'm flat, but it does look like it can go higher, right back to where it was last time it reported. It just shows you how you could tactically maneuver even a laggard. MCP, I'm in some. It's a laggard type play. This is more of a news type play, but overall it's still acting okay. You have a wide range bar ignited here, holding in there. I would say be tier 1 above 732. Get in some more. There is some news out there that prices are getting better in the rare earth field and demand's increasing. So, this is more that laggard type trade. MGM took the day off today, but ultimately still looks good in my opinion. Building a nice little pattern up here. Really, to get a momentum trade, it's going to have to get through this 15.95. Here's your upper level. Here's your bigger support. I would give it to here and not trade it too tight. As far as what else? Google earnings are on Thursday. Still hanging around. Definitely frustrating some people who are looking for follow through before earnings. Still above the 8-day. Hanging in there, absorbing what was a really nice move from the last buy price we had here. Still looks like best in breed. It's just hanging around. It's going to wait for earnings. And at least earnings will have a we'll have a pivot point, 927. If it's buyable and the earnings are good, we'll be able to trade it for what could be an additional move, or maybe we'll even take some kind of call spread. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But right now, I haven't done anything into any of the earnings except for hold Bank of America, and so far that worked. IBM is out. We talked this morning how IBM's in the bottom of the range, and it's priced for a mix, meaning people on the street are a little concerned about IBM's earnings. So lo and behold, think they beat on two different things, or maybe in line they've raised guidance. So by raising guidance on a stock that's been down from 215, all of a sudden, boom, you're getting a big bounce back towards 200. That's why, the short was when it triggered below 190 and went below. And we said in this area, if you're bearish, do a put spread. So at least your risk is premium paid. And if you're bullish, because you buy it in the hole, just be careful, maybe do a call spread. So either way, at least your risk is premium paid. I was thinking it would go to the downside, avoided it. We'll see how it handles this tomorrow. eBay's off a little bit. It also is sort of priced for perfection all the way up here. If they would have beat and raised and had a really nice quarter, I thought it was prepared and priced to go higher. They missed a little bit, so it might get a little beat up. And this will be the support. We'll talk about that tomorrow. A lot of Chinese names acting really well. Baidu let's talk about Sina first. It's starting to finally get a little bit better on its way up. Baidu held that gap that we talked about with the street interview, and still looking pretty good. Look at that move. Started talking about it last week, and here you go. Nice move, holding the gap. I'd like it to stay here a few more days, but it might not wait for me. It's continuing. Triple D is relaxing here, so to speak. It's not really moving, but it's digesting. It's still ahead of its all-time highs. At some point, maybe there could be a catalyst there. I'm long a little bit. XONE, finally the guys caught a bounce. Nice potent bounce. Didn't give you a red dog reversal like Tesla, where it would have traded through the prior day's low and then come back up. It just opened and then just started to go. And now you have some room there, so congrats if you caught that. So bottom line is lots of stock movement, even if the indices are just hanging around and digesting. You had a move in the airlines. You had the Seeking Alpha guys talking about things that are moving. And all in all, there's been a lot more opportunity being glass half full, buying some stocks, holding positions, looking for leadership, using a tier system, moving and grooving versus fear-mongering and saying, I can't buy these equities, I don't know how to do it. because you can learn how to do it. And if you're watching this video, you probably are, and you're probably in a good position, and you're embracing some of the volatility that's in front of you, and you're hopefully holding some macro longs that are working in your favor, because we've talked about at least 5 to 10 stocks to throw in the drawer that have all been on the move and could be paying you as a stock picker as well. Scott Redler, T3 Live. I'll do a lot more in the morning. Have a good night.
I'm Evan Lazarus, Chief Knowledge Officer for T3Live.com. You don't become a great trader by watching videos and taking courses. You become a great trader through live screen time. Accelerate that learning curve by tapping into the experience of seasoned professionals. Currently, we're offering 5-day free trials to each of our 4 mentoring rooms. In the mentoring rooms, we teach our strategies in the context of the live market. To sign up for a free trial, go to the T3 Live education page, fill out the form, and get started when the next trading session begins. We hope to see you in one of our mentoring rooms.